It's Faith Friday here on GMA3, and our next guest is a hospital chaplain and blogger who's helping folks through a topic that's pretty tough. Decoding grief.
Yeah, and in his new book titled As Long As You Need, he shares stories from the hospital bedside and offers ways to practice self-care during loss. Please welcome J.S. Parks. J.S., good to see you.
I'm very happy and honored to be here. Thank you.
Of course. So this book came out of your training as a hospital chaplain. What did you learn about grief, and why did you want to focus on that?
Yeah, the biggest thing I learned about grief at bedside is that there is a particular social and cultural narrative that grief needs to be suppressed and stuffed down, to be jettisoned and severed. And it seems to be that we want to get rid of grief as if it's something toxic in order to re-enter back into hustle and productivity. But what I've learned as a chaplain, the most important thing we can do when we're grieving is to feel it, is to let it come as it is, and to take our time with it, not to suppress it, but to enter it. And how do we feel not ashamed, but instead validate and name the things that we experience when we experience something as big as loss.
Yeah, you just said that we should allow ourselves to feel it. I mean, we're all human in this life. We are all going to experience grief. How can you let yourself feel that?
Yeah, grief is a very scary thing to feel, but usually what I see in my patients are two pains. One is the pain of the loss itself, death of a loved one, or death of dreams, or loss of our autonomy, our mental health. But then there's additional burden that we put on ourselves, or that larger social narratives put on us, that we need to suppress and stuff down the grief because it's something that we need to get rid of. And so we can experience the pain of the loss rather on its own terms instead of trying to stuff it down. So we name it. We say what we're feeling, where do we feel it in our body, and then we validate the hardness of it. And we create community collectively together where we can actually say, I see that you're hurting and it hurts, and I want to know what is hurting.
And I can't tell you how many times you hear people say, get over it, which is extremely tough there. So what is your advice, your words of wisdom for those who are dealing with a loss, and the loss could have happened 10 years ago, 10 days ago? How do you get through it?
Yeah, every loss can feel as fresh as the first day, 10 years from now, 50 years from now. So I would say that for that kind of advice, I can see why we say that sort of thing. It hurts to see someone hurt. When we see someone spiraling, when the ground opens up and we experience that loss, there's something in the silence where we want to offer words that we think are helpful. But I think really the most helpful thing is to be able to talk about, here's this thing that hurts. It's still hurting. It's still as fresh as the first day. And to allow those waves to come. They say grief, there's good days and bad days. It comes in like waves. And to be available and present to that, and to sit in the hardness of it instead of looking away.
And what if you have children? I'm sorry, what if you have children who are grieving?
Yeah, so my wife and I last Easter, we suffered a miscarriage. And our 2-year-old daughter, she grieved that loss of what could have been the sister she was supposed to have. And so we talked with her about that loss very openly. And she was, at least to my surprise, so emotionally intelligent and open to talk about it. Children do want to have that conversation. They're ready to talk about it. And so we were very open at eye level, talking with her about her loss. How are you feeling? What can we do? How can we honor the loss that we just had?
All right, J.S. Parks, thank you very much. It's so important what you're doing, and we appreciate you for that.
Thank you. God bless.
Of course. By the way, you can pick up a copy of As Long As You Need everywhere that books are sold.
Well, hey there, GMA fans. Robin Roberts here. Thanks for checking out our YouTube channel. Lots of great stuff here. So go on, click the subscribe button right over here to get more of awesome videos and content from GMA every day, anytime. We thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the morning on GMA.